Hi, everyone. In this video, I want to review two plays, both of which deal with late closeouts by defenders on three-point shooters, and just talk a little bit about the positioning and adjudication of those plays. So in this first clip, as you can see, we're coming up the court. As we come up the floor, we come into the front court. All three officials are in good position here. Trail has the on-ball matchup uh, at a little bit above the 28-foot mark here, at or above the 28-foot mark with the ball. Lead is a couple steps outside the lane line, and the slot or center official is at the free throw line extended. So we have a good initial position here. The ball's passed around a bit here, and then we have a pass into the post, uh, and the post player is double teamed. So anytime we have a double team, right, we should anticipate that the ball is going to be passed out of that double team. And if that player is being double teamed, there's going to be someone who's open. So in this case, lead it has gotten a bit wider, and Trail is actually taking a step out onto the court to see this play a bit better, right? To see if the one of the players defenders fouls the player as he's trying to pass it out of the double team to see what happens. At the same time, the center needs to anticipate that the ball is likely going to come to this perimeter player. It's also possible it could come over here to this player on the perimeter. It could come over here, but pretty quickly he turns and it's sort of obvious it's coming here. At the point the pass is released, I think C could go ahead and take a step down to get underneath this three-point shooter and have just a slightly better look at this play, but not terrible positioning. So what happens is now as the ball is passed out, a defender is trying to recover now to guard this three-point shooter. A three-point shooter catches the ball and very quickly goes up for a shot. So I want you to notice that right here, notice where number one is, and notice that the defender is actually going to leave the floor here from at or just inside the three-point line. So we go up, and then there is some contact, and the shooter goes to the floor. Some of you have heard in maybe clinics in other places, but this is a foul. And we want to look at this in a couple of ways. One is watch where the defender leaves the floor and where the defender lands. Okay, so clearly the defender is jumping and going A to B into the jump shooter number one. Secondly, the second sort of clue we have here is A, this is a late closeout trying to get back to the defender. So it's already going to be a tough play by the defender. And secondly, you'll notice that the defensive player turns actually to try and avoid contact because actually he realizes, one white realizes he's going to run into him. These are all keys that help us identify that likely we've had a foul committed by the defensive player, not allowing the offensive player, the offensive jump shooter, to return to the floor. So in this case, although we don't have a great look at the actual contact, it certainly looks like we have a foul by white one. I wouldn't split hairs on these. If you have a late closeout and the defensive player is jumping out into the space of the shooter coming down and there's any sort of contact, it should be a foul on the defensive player. All right, let's look at another play, a similar play, but now later in the game. Okay, so in fact, you'll notice that we're under 10 seconds here. The ball is coming into the front court, and for some context here, the white team is down by 3. So we ought to be anticipating here that one of two things are going to happen. Either they are going to attempt to drive to the basket, perhaps pick up a foul, maybe sort of an and one scenario, or they're going to attempt a three-point shot. And by this point in the game, we really ought to have some idea of which of those is more likely with this team. Have they been shooting more three-pointers, or have they been driving to the basket a bit more? So let's continue to watch this play. So the ball goes down into the corner, or actually, sorry, the dribble is dribbled down into the corner. And then we have a dribble handoff screen. Okay. So we have a handoff, and then because we had a screen, now our two defensive players are not sure what they're supposed to do on the screen. Are they going to switch or what are they going to do? So 50, who was originally guarding 21 here, he sort of gets caught for a second, then he has to recover to try to get back to guard this shooter. Now we're at 5 seconds now. Now, once we're under 5 seconds, the likelihood of them driving to the basket has dropped significantly. And so, in fact, what we have is we have another 3-point shot. We have 50 jumping, going A to B, some contact, and the ball ends up going out of bounds. Again, this should have been a foul. We essentially have a late closeout by the defender. Notice again, same keys we see before, right? We see 50 jumping forward, and we see 50 turn to try and avoid contact, but there's still body contact. This is a foul by 50. Now, let's talk about a couple of things sort of from, why did we miss this play? Um, the first thing I want to emphasize is that under 10 seconds, uh, we've got to be anticipating that this is a last second shot. And if it's a last second shot, we have to have 6 eyes on this play. This is the only play that matters right now. So a couple of things. Let's take this in terms of the trails positioning and the leads positioning. So if we back up a bit, we are in pretty good position here, and we're okay here. And now once trail realizes that we're going to have a shot, trail decides, unfortunately, to try and get under this shooter. In this situation, what we would rather see is trail take a step out onto the floor, possibly to try and get a better angle. But there's too much ground to cover to try to get under the shot. And in fact, you can see that at the point of contact, the trail official has now worked himself into a complete straight line. Okay. Secondly, as this comes back up, the lead official could probably improve his positioning by taking even another step to get wider. And the lead official needs to be refereeing this play as well. Now, the lead official does not have primary responsibility for it, but on a late game shot like this, we have to have at least 4 eyes on this play, preferably 6. And the lead needs to come get this foul in the event that the trail is unable to see it. Okay. So this is a foul at a crucial time in the game that was missed. And again, it's on a late closeout by a defender who jumps A to B and loses his sort of legality too by turning into the shooter. So these are types of plays that are just sort of becoming more prevalent. I think defensive players have sort of gotten used to the notion that okay, they can't jump straight into them, so they are now trying to turn to avoid the contact. But if they are turning and cause contact as they're trying to turn away, we just need to take fouls on those plays. Those are fouls in the same way as if they had stayed face up to the offensive player and just run into him. So hopefully these clips will be helpful. You can talk about them in pre-games as you get started in the season, and help you. Hopefully they'll help you referee 3-point jump shots or really any kind of jump shot better this coming season.